Hey everybody, so it's me, and this is new for this um, web series. Is Rhett is joining me, and when I first brought her on, she was very shy and she didn't say anything, and now she's starting to get more loud and rambunctious. Uh, that is the funny thing about African gray parrots is that they sort of boundary test. So they're constantly trying new things and all that, and then you kind of have to adapt to them, and then they have to adapt to you and all that. And so she uh she is starting to become a little bit louder, a little bit more you know trying to become part of things. A lot of times when me and my wife or me and my son are talking, she'll try to like inject herself. She'll start mumbling things, and all that. Or she sees certain situations and she'll say specific things, but she's very untrainable. Like she won't do tricks or anything like that. So she wants to be part of things, but she's definitely not nobody's show pony. But anyways, so I actually just got done watching yesterday's, but the last episode of this web series, and I actually found it very enjoyable. I had forgotten a lot of things that I had said in that, and it was neat to see that Reedy has multiple results, but then like Where doesn't, which you would think Where would have a bunch, of results. Um, but things like that was pretty cool. So we're just kind of grinding through and getting the different events going, and I was sort of looking at the code and trying to figure out um, where we're at, and it doesn't look like I have an on speech event coded yet. So it looks like that would be the thing. This is kind of a fun point. Like when you're coding, there's different stages, right? There's one stage where you're just trying to figure out what to do, and then there's a stage where you figured out what to do, but you have a lot of it to do, and that's what this is like. And we want to learn as much as we can right now. We could have just done this, copy and paste these, and just got them all working for all the events, but I want to see how every event works, and then I also want to guess how I think things work, and then double check to see if it worked the way I thought, because I find that I remember things a little bit better. But I would think that on speech end would come in after on audio and before on end. So let's see if I am correct. So I'm going to copy this. Um, I don't know why it's read only. Oh, because I am looking at the another version. Like I'm looking at um, the Git view of it. I don't know what you call it, but it's like whatever you're clicking when you're in here. Sometimes you can't um, make changes if you've in some conditions, and I've never really thought through all of it and experimented, but on I believe speech and now if that so here I used to actually create a specific signal for each kind of end. I do not think that's a good idea. I think that was a bad idea. So I think just having it very generic makes more sense. But that just doesn't look right. I don't know why, but I always think that speech should have an A in it, SPEACH. That probably says something about me. And I did want to mention that I do make heavy use of Chat GPT. I think one of the tricks in life in general is to use tools like this, but don't become dependent on them. And that's a tough trick because if you become dependent on it, like I heard that you can buy professional license to Chat GPT for $200 a month. I'm not paying $200 a month for this tool. There is probably a financial amount that I'd be willing to pay, but I would only be willing to pay for it if, like, I could be assured, and I don't even know how they would assure this, that it's not collecting data about me and analyzing me. If they're typing stuff, if I'm typing stuff in here in A, or, well, okay, this I don't care about, but two is it's learning to become a better developer because I work with it and because I ask it questions and stuff like that. And and they're not paying me for that. So we're doing like sort of a trade. I'm helping it become a better developer, and it's helping me do a better development job. I'm not becoming a better developer because of it, but it's making me more efficient. It's becoming a better developer because of me. So that's a fair trade. Um, if uh, if they were going to make me pay, let's say $10 a month, I would expect A to be sure that they're not selling my data in any way, shape, or form. I would actually like it if they didn't even collect any data. Then, if they're going to collect and sell my data that they're getting and information about me, then I should not have to pay for this. Um, and I don't know, maybe it costs $200 a month if you want that service. But anyways, that's where I'm at with that. You don't want to become dependent on ChatGPT. You want to use it because you're going to get faster and all that, and but you don't want to become dependent on it. Anyways, so we're back to this, and it's built and it's complaining about router outlet. I saw this in my other project. It's not used, so this would actually be a good. So what was interesting in my other one was it was saying that it did not get router outlet. They couldn't find it. But it looks like it can find it, and I don't know. Do they move it someplace else? But let's go ahead and get rid of this and see if anything breaks. Nothing should break. I would imagine that they tested that pretty thoroughly. Yeah, it looks like that works fine. Um, thorough would be a good word to check. I don't even know if I say thorough right. Well, in a consistent way with what the browser thinks it should say. Um, but what we care about, I'm a bit distracted. Let me hit the Alt left, is the on speech end. And so let's try this. Thorough. And then let's go see what we got. So it did get three results back. I wonder, it'll be very interesting. Ooh, bookmarks. Control Shift I. Console. And let's go to our speech recognition. So I'm off mission right now. I'm just doing my own thing. So it said I had three. So thorough is the first one. About 50% chance that was right. Very less is thorough, which is, I believe, I don't know what that is. What is thorough? And one of the thorax. So I don't even know what that is. But apparently you pronounce all three of these. One of these, I believe, is an author's name. So let's go to ChatGPT. Let's see if I can copy this. So like this is something you could easily do with um, uh, what is with search, right? But it would just take longer. You'd have to. Okay, so that's the name of Henry David Thoreau is a person from 1817 to 1862. And then what was the other one? Oh, there's a family, the Thoreau family. Authors, American actor. So yeah, I've never heard of any of these people. Uh, the Leftovers and Mullen Drive. Tropic Thunder. Okay, okay, I like you. That was hilarious. And Iron Man 2 was awesome. So this guy, Justin, you, sir, are a very talented individual. Paul, I've never heard of him. The Great Railway Bazaar, the Mosquito Coast, travelogues and novels explained, and then Louis Theroux's. So basically, all of them are artists. The other two, and all that. So there's that. Now the reason that you know we're supposed to be here, you know, is to see when's okay. So speech end. That's the one we just added, right? Alt back. Alt back. Yes. Speech. I thought I just did. I just hit Control Z. What? Why am I so confused now? Speech start. That's weird. So somehow I ended up losing my um all that. And am I in the right one? Oh, on speech end. Okay, I have no idea what I was looking at there. Apparently, I just got gaslighted myself. So the speech end event came, and it came after the result and before the audio end. Okay, so I guess that does make sense. So let's go ahead and move that up in here. Yeah, I guess I need to check myself on that. The speech would end, then the audio would end, and then the end would end. Which the end would end was probably when the um, microphone turns itself off. Um, so that is that. I think that was a very good video. We learned about the word thorough, that the word thorough is very confusing because it is apparently, it's got two layers of confusion because it means like to be like very, to get something done and make sure every little piece of it is done. I believe that's the meaning of the word thorough. But they someone when they say that could actually be saying the name of an artist, but there's two artists that they could be talking about one that ends with an X and one that doesn't end with an X, and then and I believe the one that doesn't end with an X is more famous than the one that does end with an X. But I do think that the middle one that ends with X, which I forgot what is, I think his name is Justin, was the writer of one of my favorite all-time favorite movies called Tropic Thunder, um, which they could definitely not make in 2024, but is absolutely hilarious. So that's that. There's just a lot going on there and a lot of confusion. I guess this would be a good time to do a commit. Let's see. I think I want to keep the one console log. Okay, so we definitely want to get rid of that. So removes unneeded library. And we probably want to make sure that that is a different commit than removes router outlet unneeded. And then this. I think we want everything. I don't know what happened to our console log though. We had a console log that we added. I guess I already committed that. Okay. Get add. And this is video what? What is this video? This is video 54. So I'm going to add everything I have. Git commit dash m. Yeah, Rhett. Yeah, that's good stuff. I'm trying to encourage her to get a little bit more involved, but I would like it if she didn't do like chirping. If it was more like talking and stuff, like hello, hello, Rhett, hello, hello. And she knows exactly what I want her to do. She's just not going to do it. But anyways, removes video 54, adds on speech and event. And I think I'm really happy with the fact that, we added this event and then we sort of thoroughly dug into it well, I didn't want to say thoroughly, but we did make some specific efforts to learn and understand it. And that I think is what this is all about. Um, this is more about just analyzing and understanding the API, under, trying to understand sort of edge cases and things like that. And then once we sort of understand all that stuff, it would be good to build something cool, at least one thing cool. I thought I wanted to build like one discrete thing and one continuous thing. Um, and I think that would be cool. Like a really, I was talking last time how a VIN would be cool. And like one of the things that you could build into like a VIN reader, like, cause so what happens is like, um, there's a lot of people who have to check VIN numbers on cars, and VIN numbers on cars are kind of hard to read, and they're not always like visible in the places that you expect them to be visible. So sometimes you have to go look in weird places for them. And sometimes you don't quite have access to anything. Like all you have is your voice. So it'd be cool if you could just push a button and you could say in the VIN. And, um, and what would be nice is if like once you got done saying it, if it searched, because there are databases available, and if it gave you the information. So for me, for example, I found out, like, I bought my Toyota Camry and I wanted a 6 cylinder. And when I went to the dealership, they presented me all this paperwork showing me that I had a 6 cylinder Toyota Camry. And it was literally 8 years later when I was getting emissions done that the person at the emissions told me that, oh no, this is a 4 cylinder. And it was like, the people basically, they at the dealership, they had forged the papers to trick me into thinking it was a 6 cylinder when it was actually a 4 cylinder, because like they make they charge more for 6 cylinders than they do for 4 cylinders. So they charged me for a 6 cylinder, but they only um but I got a 4 cylinder. Now my son is an attorney, and he was like, "There's nothing that can be done about that because I would have to show some sort of damages," and they would definitely make the argument that over the last years, I've saved money because I had a 4 cylinder, so there were no damages on that. But like I paid for something, I didn't get it. That so, anyways, when he was looking at my VIN number, I remember he had to write it down on a piece of paper, and then he had to go type it into his computer. And I'm sure being able to just say it voice and type it into his phone, I'm sure just being able to say it the um, and then getting the results would be better. Um, and it probably would have been good for him, like if he said like a word or a letter, the letter like V, and like if I had a very limited grammar, so that only letters and numbers were in that grammar, then when he said letters and numbers, it could repeat it back to him. And then like I could imagine if he said V, but it thinks he said B, and it was like, and then it repeat if he said V and it said B back to him, he's like, next. Well, the only thing left is B. Like the only thing next would be the next one. So then it could say that. He goes, yep. Or if he doesn't say anything, it goes on. So, if he just could just basically wait like a third of a second in between or something like that. Like it would take some training on both sides, but like if you could, it would probably be very save him time instead of having to write down a piece of paper and then transpose that into his phone. And it makes for less frustration in his day. And that seemed like a very frustrating job. So, like, if you could reduce the frustration, sometimes the frustration level is like, like if you have a very boring job and you get a lot of frustration, that can be, a good thing. Like it can help stimulate you, as we've probably all seen if we're interacting with a bureaucracy or something like that. Their day is so boring that they like to provoke you because it kind of makes their day a little bit spicier. Um, but most of the people who check VINs, they don't need any more spice in their day than they're already getting. But anyways, yeah, that's 19 minutes, so I probably rambled on longer than I should have. But happy coding, everybody. Bye.